I see it with a clear eye.
So I hustle.
Mama's house to penthouse. Yeah.
It ain't raining outside.
It's been a while. We ain't talked about since you've been back from New York on the show, have we?
I don't know. I feel like I went to New York a bunch of times since then, but I haven't. I feel like I went mentally in my mind.
I know it was like a week or two ago, but we didn't have a show like the previous week. So I think in that week you went to New York because we didn't record the week you went to New York. And then I think maybe the week back we didn't record.
Yeah, right. No, I haven't been to New York, but I don't think I've been. Yeah, I don't think we've been back.
Yeah,
since I've been back from the York.
The nasty New York.
Yeah, it's different out there.
The speed, huh?
The speed, yeah. People like the Southern. If you have Southern hospitality, somewhere like New York, you walk around like a super weapon. You know what I'm saying? It's like because everybody generally are mad and shit. And you know, with the Texas vibes, you don't really. Sometimes you just don't know certain stuff, but can't nobody like. It take a lot to like get mad at a random person. Like,
yeah,
you really gotta. But
that's got to build up over days or something.
In New York, it's very easy for them because there's no hospitality. It's like, you know.
They grew up like that, though.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody's on top of each other. So you kind of got to be.
It's kind of like here, if somebody speaks to you, you don't think it's weird that somebody tried to speak to you. Somebody just random say, hey, how's it going? You're not going to go like
yeah. I guess because there's so many people out there. It's like, why are you speaking to me?
Yeah.
It's 9,000 people on this block.
I don't have time to speak to everybody.
Yeah.
You can't be walking down the street with 20,000 people saying, hey. You
know how out here, if you, depending on like what time it is and stuff in the day, like, if it's a good time of the day, like ain't nothing going on Sunday, you know, you can put the address to Sharpstown Mall, Plaza America, or somewhere like kind of far, like 15 miles could mean like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Technically here. Like, granted some lights, but if you hopping on the highway, you can get there in 15 miles. 15 minutes. That's not foreign. You know, sometimes you'll see on the GPS 15 miles, 15 minutes, you know, or 15 miles, 20 minutes. Out there, you'll see like 3 miles. You get in the car, 3 miles. 1 hour, 7 minutes.
It don't surprise me at all. When we went to New York.
1 hour and 7 minutes?
We went to New York. I saw somebody at a Lambo. And you know how you got in downtown, any city, you got blocks. So it's like streets and buildings, then another street.
Yeah.
I watched somebody, because we were just sitting in front of the store. I watched somebody sit in traffic from one light to the next light, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Move from this light in between to halfway up the street in 45 minutes.
And the whole city like that, like, that's what I love about how spaced out Houston is. It's like, out there it's like they run out of space, so they just start building up on top of everything. Out here, you know, we still got space. You know, like on the highway, we running with 5 lanes. You know what I'm saying? It's still a little traffic, but it'll die down. Like, it never dies down in New York. I don't remember. I don't know what nighttime.
That's why they call it the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, it doesn't die down. You in traffic, bro. That shit is stupid. I would imagine at nighttime that traffic can't be that crazy.
Nah, it's probably places that are that crazy. I'll tell you though, New York was the first place that I heard about air rights. I'm pretty sure they do it in all cities, or probably major cities, but to get those tall skyscrapers, the buildings next to you sell their height. So your building can only go so high. So somebody could buy your air rights, so I could build a taller building next to you. Mm-hmm. Like a whole crazy system they got.
So now I can build a whole apartment complex on top of the.
So if you try and build next to it, be like, let me buy out, you know, however many stories you about to build. So you basically agreeing to never build any higher. So I can build higher.
Yeah.
Something to keep the buildings, I guess, from getting too crazy next to each other. It's probably a hazard or something if you got 2 extremely tall buildings right next to each other. Like some wind hit them, they run into each other, something like that.
Right.
I don't know. If you're an engineer, you could tell me what it is. That's basically what I think.
I would imagine the airspace caps off at the spot where it gets dangerous and shit like that. Like,
well, they got to do all these crazy things. Like they got a building in New York where it's literally like a big metal rod in between it, that when the air swings, it kind of swings the other way to balance it from like wobbling because the building is so tall. It's crazy what they got to do to get those buildings up. But yeah, I hadn't remembered if we had talked about that when you went to New York. But you want to get right into our Penthouse Plays of the week? So, number one, OpenAI is coming for small business operations. So what happened this week? OpenAI announced a ChatGPT for small business program. There were also fresh stories about Americans becoming solo entrepreneurs in the AI era. So the reason this is important is because AI is not just for tech startups anymore. It's being packaged directly for everyday business owners. I'm talking to salon owners, consultants, cleaning companies, agencies, real estate teams, creators, and local service businesses. Now, this was an interesting one to me because this is something that we've been seeing because we've literally been helping people install these type of things in their business. It's almost like how when you need somebody to follow up, you have somebody who can actually follow up over and over and over again, even if you were a one-man team. So I think that OpenAI launching a specific business plan shows that that's a big segment of the market that a lot of people are missing when it comes to AI.
Would you they saying like Claude built a business?
No, OpenAI basically did a small business program. They launched a small business program. So it's targeted at small businesses.
Okay, to learn. Yeah. For us to learn, for small businesses to learn how to use it on a daily basis. I walked into a barbershop the other day next to my cousin's shop, and he got a Claude bot. I don't know what it's doing, but that's the benefit of.
I think that's where people be like, man, what is all this AI for? I always go back to people can only see the videos getting generated and stuff like that. But I think that the people who are making the greatest use of AI that's useful, like really useful, that's not intrusive, are small businesses. Like having somebody pick up the phone and book people on appointments. I think it makes it better for everybody because if you're just calling to book an appointment, you text something and they text you right back and say, hey, what time you trying to get in there? And they book you in. That's just convenient. You didn't get on there and it's all kind of crazy stuff going on. It's just a very simple process. So I think that's where AI has seen a lot of growth that people don't talk about. All right. Creator entrepreneurs are getting real financial infrastructure. So Manifest and MasterCard launched a business debit card for creator entrepreneurs. It's designed to support the next generation of creators operating like real businesses. So creators are being treated less like hobbyists and more like business entities. Financial products are being built specifically for them. I think this was inevitable. This is not surprising to me with the level of influence that creators have now. It's pretty much almost a complete creator economy when people think about buying from products.
Somebody was like, man, they was playing Streamer University clips on ESPN. So what the fuck is? Nobody's watching ESPN anymore. Nobody's watching NBC anymore. Nobody's watching CNN no more. Nobody's watching BET anymore. Yeah. Nobody's logging
That would have been a pinnacle back in the day to see yourself on ESPN or BET.
Yeah.
But you probably rather be seen on like a Mr. Beast or seen on the Streamer University channel.
I would argue that the Streamer U people should hit their ass up like, why the hell are you using like they would?
Because they would have for sure done that.
They would for sure do it.
You're not supposed to be using this without the express written consent.
Come on, man. But it's the truth. And nobody's really watching none of that anymore. Like, you don't get your news from there anymore. Like, none of that. So
it's too slow.
Yeah.
It's just too slow.
And the creator economy is really a thing. It's like getting into it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's this is a part of it. We've been doing this for a long time, and continuing the next phase of this is distribution, more distribution. We already on like every single
100 different
podcast platforms, but we looking into. Of course, it's like I see a certain podcast on Netflix and Tubi. People put a lot of other things like that on a pedestal, but this is just processes. Like, I don't know how simple it is to get your podcast on Netflix and stuff like that, but you can get they're
open to it though.
Yeah, obviously they got so many. I see people that are next show on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see that. So, and just comment on the creator economy
for sure.
Banks gotta lend to the
Because they see it.
creators.
They see it. It's just like anything else. They not stupid.
I always thought that, like, you a big fan of R. Kelly. He got like
Preoccupied.
I used him as an example because he got a large body of work. The large body of work equals to a amount of time spent with a person mentally. That's all that it really is. So in today's economy right now, the creator can drop a 1 hour podcast and you can spend as much time with him in a week as you spent with a guy like R. Kelly or Vin Diesel or your favorite actor on 100,000s of 1 hour.
You know something you said when we first met? You had just read Think and Grow Rich, I believe. And one of the things you keyed on that a lot of people wouldn't have keyed on, I definitely didn't the first time I read it, was a pleasing personality. And I think people just miss how integral that is to selling something.
Yeah.
Influencers are likable people. I don't know if they're likable if you're in the room with them one-on-one or if you actually know them, if they're likable people. There's no way I could know that. But when somebody gets in front of a camera and puts good energy out, that right there is something that can be sold. And that's why I think that it's almost in a way that companies are outsourcing the good vibes, the pleasing personality part of the process. And I think that's one of the things that when you talk about that creator economy, it's just now people don't have to be the business person and a pleasing personality. You can become a pleasing personality and you can really just sell that personality back to the internet because it's such good distribution.
Right. You can build a whole business model around just being an influencer.
Yeah.
I do understand because of the level of influence and like the time frame that we came up in with influence, like the beginning, we saw Instagram birth itself, be born. So with with the influencers, you just get the pleasing personality is just too important for the whole concoction because it's like you're gonna be putting all of that on and it don't even gotta be like you all a kind, nice guy. It's just the personality is pleasing to the community.
Well, that's a good point because I think that it's like it's a book called The Way of Men. And he talked about this. It's like even a lot of the villains in movies, we like those villains, even though they're not. I wouldn't say they're good people.
In a world full of soft ass shit, I appreciate a Andrew Tate. Mm-hmm. It's a pleasing personality to me. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about what nobody else is talking about.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is people look at the personality as if what they're saying has to be like, hey guys, that's pleasing. Yeah. I think that anything you resonate with is a pleasing personality. And those people are endearing to a set of people who are willing to buy. Because to me, a pleasing personality is just something that aligns with your worldview. If you have certain thoughts and processes about the world, ultimately what's going to happen is people are going to say, oh, I like that person because they think like me. Mm-hmm. And you are presenting that in a way that is maybe funny or interesting or something like that. So I definitely see the creator economy. Okay. In bonus play. So SBA's $1 million Patriot Pitch competition funding is still out there. So SBA, they have a competition where they basically you could pitch them and then they would give you $1 million in funding. So the funding is always out there. And I know you're going to like what the research says here. It says basically that a lot of people complain about not having money, but they don't have a system for finding grants. I remember early on in the game, you talked about, man, we need to have a financial person that all they do all day is go look up grants. And we actually have one of those people.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. Because that and even with one of the first things that we talked about, the Claude bot, we would give Miss Angela access to the Claude bot or just put the Claude bot in charge of just going to go search things and give the information to Miss Angela. Miss Angela has already put us in, that's probably what we're already meeting.
I don't know if it's the Patriot Pitch specifically, but I remember on that call, we did talk about a lot of things as far as.
You didn't come to the, I don't know if you came to the last one. The one that we, it's something new that's on the board.
Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't come to the last one.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? It might be, but even if it's not, I guarantee
it's an SBA one though.
Right.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that.
The system to putting together the grants is the moral of the story.
Point being, like he's saying, like you should have some system to think about. Like instead of being, there ain't no funding out here. A lot of times you'd be surprised. When I got on that call, even myself, I was surprised at how many opportunities there are for businesses who have very simple criteria, like mostly just being set up and being incorporated, which is not difficult to do in most states. So
not to
I think that's
mention
crazy.
a finished business plan, like something that you gotta do the business, but you gotta actually sit down and actually make the plan. It comes with like how much payroll costs, how much people do you actually need, all of those things. Because people, you like we're saying, anybody who's lending money understand that there's fundamental things that have to happen for the money to be made. So if they can see that, and they can see that you know that, then there's a higher likelihood that you'll pay it back. And if I look at your history of payments, that's a good concoction of like, all right, like I don't need to talk to this person. Like, show me, okay, they got a good plan. Let me see the plan. Oh, that does make sense. I actually did that before. Okay, yeah, now they're gonna do it. Shit, I always been looking for somebody to do that. Man, how much they want to do it, man. As a matter of fact, bring them in here. Let me talk to them. But you can see a plan. You have now, now that you got a good plan, you got the plan is the key though, because you know how much money you need from there. Now all you need is somebody that can see the vision. You know what I'm saying?
I think too, like you saying, the plan. We talk about that in the UBB, the business model canvas, and we go through the 9 different parts of business. But one of those parts is the cost structure, like knowing your fixed costs, knowing your variable costs. A lot of times just knowing that and then knowing like how does money actually come into this business. I think those things are things that if you take to somebody logically, just think about yourself, you have a bunch of money to give away. And somebody comes to you and says, I got an idea. And the idea is whatever it is. You may not be that confident in that idea because it's just an idea. We don't know if you can execute it, but if I come to you and be like, okay, look, this is how much it costs. This is the type of employees I need. I need this employee for this. I need these employees for this. I need this much money for marketing. I market at these places. Once I market on these places, I get a customer this way. We fulfill this way, so I need this staff.
That's why
that's going to be a little bit different if you're asking somebody for money because they can see an actual process to how that money could come back to them.
You mix that with your credit score, which is AKA just your payment history. Mm-hmm. Like you mix a good plan with like, oh, he be
not only you know what you're talking about.
Obviously, you've been paying stuff back, and to pay stuff back says a lot about you because you have you were able to take on something and get it back through. You know what I'm saying? So it says a lot about can you do it again? You know what I'm saying? So that's why having no credit is bad credit, because if you listen to what I'm saying, I want to be hard money cowboy, and I'm already thinking about like I'm not going. That's why my cousin with the SUVs, we might whatever with it, but he was saying, man, I believe in you, cuz, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I'm still about to show you this plan because I wouldn't give anybody anything without a plan.
I mean, I think that's just good. That's just honorable on you. But also it teaches people a lesson that even with us, I think that if I come to you with a plan, or no, not a plan. If I come to you asking about some money, I came to you. We've been working together forever. You still want to see a plan.
Yeah.
Not that you care about giving the money. Man, I cared about giving you the money. I would still be like, what's the plan with this? Like, what are we doing with this?
Out of respect. You owe the board a plan. Yeah. And bare minimum a verbal plan, but that's not enough for me. You can't come in here asking for some money. Well, depending on if it's like not you're different from Joe Blow, of course, but it's like,
well, we have a track record of seeing each other do projects and stuff like that. So it's no different.
History, payment history.
You go to the SBA, they don't know who you are. You got to show them something to be like, why would I give you the money when I give this person the money who's gonna give me the money back? The whole point is, you got to think about it, is the Small Business Administration. They're trying to get some money back. And more importantly, what they're trying to do is to get successful businesses out there that can provide jobs that can help stimulate the economy. I don't know. I remember I told you a long time ago, I read Tax-Free Wealth. And one of the things that was most interesting about that book, they talked about the government's real purpose is to provide housing and to provide jobs. So that's why they incentivize a lot of these things in real estate, a lot of these things when it comes to small business, because they know if Cowboy builds a business with 500 employees that's actually making money, that's 500 new people that are spending on taxes, income tax. They go in the stores, they shopping, they paying sales tax. So they want you to win. So if you think that there's not money out there for you in business, that's crazy. You just got to start looking. And you just made a great point that AI can also be something to at least find the opportunities. Maybe not be able to take it all the way, but you could at least find that here's an opportunity and then get somebody like Miss Alicia to help you with the grant writing.
Yeah, and not to correct you, Miss Angela is.
You know who I'm thinking about? The lady who you got the penthouse from. When you had the
realtor lady.
Yeah, when we first moved into when you first moved into the first Mama's House, the penthouse set.
Oh yeah, Miss Alethea.
Okay, I got it wrong again. I'm sorry to both of y'all.
I lost my
Miss Angela for the
yes, and little do we know, Miss Angela might have some AI going on in her operations on a daily basis. So, the reason why she's always reaching out saying, "I have a new this, I have a new that," is potentially she could have a Claude bot in her operation. But that's who I think
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, who the best partners are is the people who are hip with the newest and latest technology. And if you're not, I'm gonna enlighten you because we gotta stay up to speed.
Yeah, sure. And that's our Penthouse Plays of the week. I think that was a really good set of plays this week. And once again, just tell y'all a little secret. You know who researches those plays of the week?
AI.
AI helps us do that, right? We do our due diligence, but it does go around and find us great stories to bring to you. So with that being said, let's get into our Mama's House mail. Now, I picked this one today because I think this is something we've been kind of talking about lately, me and you. And I think that it would be good to kind of explain this a little bit deeper. So this is Chris from Phoenix, Arizona. And he says, I see entrepreneurs posting every day, but most of it sounds the same. Is consistency still important if the content isn't original? There's a very specific reason I wanted to talk about this today, because me and you, we're working out the other day and we're talking about live streaming. And a big part of it is when you're going out there doing something like live streaming, leave your live streaming today.
Yeah, I'm turning.
This isn't live, so
yeah.
But you're live streaming the day of this recording. And a big part of that, I would say a lot of times people have different fears and beliefs, but one of them might be, well, what if the content isn't that good? But you made the point about really it's more of just the vibe. Like if you're hanging out with your friends and they're out there lifting weights or y'all walking in the park and y'all just chopping it up, just being there, if you have a good vibe, is good enough. And that's what I think a lot of the streaming content is. If you haven't looked at a lot of the streaming content, you should go check it out. Yes, people clip the parts where there's crazy stuff going on or they're joking. But some of those streams, there's a significant part of it where there's not really anything happening that exciting, but people are just hanging out in the chat. People may just be vibing just to be there. It's just like a good feeling all around. It's a good feeling. Like you can't get that from a movie. You can't get that you can get it from video games to a degree, especially if you're playing online. But streaming, I think, provided that. So when it comes to content, the reason I made that point is that I think a lot of people think, oh, the content's the same. The content's the same. The content may be the same, but the vibe is different.
Yeah.
That's what will ultimately cause people to tune in and watch you. So that's why I wanted to talk about this and kind of talk about with you, because I think this is something you are very heavy on. What are some of the things that you think as far as content being original versus the actual person that's producing the content?
I like the Dean the Great and AB saga that's going on right now. A lot of people. But I like it because I come from that background, and not the extremely pressing on the what they call them, the hoes, the huzz. We ain't extremely pressing no pussy or nothing like that. But it's funny though because the background is funny. You got that older cousin that's just loose. It's lit. Y'all kick back and it's lit. So the personalities are very pleasing to me to see clips like, nigga, that shit. And you'll be surprised. AB maybe not Dean because of how young he is, but how many people have went through that exact thing that they're going through. So you think what you're going through is different. I'm starting an app. Maybe people haven't started apps or nothing. Like you may feel like you just like how I'm feeling like man, people started. You feel like people, but like there's things like that you do resonate with. Like I might not have been to Miami, but or I've been to Miami. I might not have I don't know. I'm just using examples like you might not have did it exactly like that. Somebody might not be working on the app like how I am, but if I just start streaming like the guy finna walk in and just start to stream in a few. But just us chilling like this, like we getting it in right now. Like you might think nobody wants to just see that, but like the vibe of that is so resonating and pleasing to a community of people that you just not thinking about. Like, and you also might think that you need to make that like a movie thing and all of that. Like they do have some great clip edits and stuff like that. And what makes it great is how simple the edit is and stuff like that, honestly, right now. So it's all just to me understanding like I'm trying to tie it back into the question.
Well, I think he's like the content being original is people posting the same. But I think
the vibe is what makes it original. So it's not anything that you're going to do on there. Like today, we're not going to focus on what we're going to do. We're going to cut the camera on and then we're going to do things because whatever we do, there's a general vibe to it that needs to get displayed. That is the purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I really believe? I believe it's a self-esteem thing. Early on, I remember whenever somebody was around you, let's say early on in the days of early Instagram days, we was at the White House. And let's say I said, well, you know, you're an influencer. You said, you too. And I think that was just kind of a cultivating a kind of confidence in yourself. People go to Miami every day.
Exactly.
But people have not went to Miami with you.
Exactly.
You go to, think about it like this. You go to Miami with your parents right now. That's one type of trip. You go with all your partners, it's a completely different type of trip. The whole vibe of those trips will be completely different. You might have fun on both of them, but they're going to satisfy.
If I prop the camera up and follow y'all around, you understand what he just said, right? Yeah. Like the whole vibe of those two different trips are going to be totally different. The jokes that are cracked, the dinners that are ate that night, like the everything probably would be total. The whole vibe of it would be the choice of music, the recreational events, the whole swag of the thing will be different, like you said.
And so this is something I'm coming to a conclusion of, and I learned this a long time ago when they talked about public speaking. The question I want to ask anybody listening or watching this right now, what is your primary objective when you're creating content? And a lot of people would say, well, you know, to deliver a message, right? I would argue it's not, because in the modern world, pretty much everything you can think about, somebody's delivering that message.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's happening that somebody's probably not sitting there delivering that message. So you go on there, I'm about to teach people about getting leads. I guarantee if you go to your anything and put how to get leads, there's going to be a bunch of people will pop up to show you how to get leads. Mm-hmm. But if somebody clicks on your video and they're like, I just like the vibe of this person, they're going to be watching your video to get leads. So I would argue that your first, and this is something I've had to learn, I've had to really lock in on, your first priority is not delivery of content, it's to entertain the audience. Think about when people think about educational content. Everybody doesn't necessarily mind watching educational content, but what they say, I want somebody who makes the learning fun. Mm-hmm. What they're basically saying is that people typically prioritize entertainment over just raw content. Now, there are some areas where maybe nobody is very entertaining in that space, and they just need to get the content. That maybe those times when people just want the content. Like, I just want to know how this laptop, what I need to do to restart the laptop. Yes, there's that space. But I think a lot of times when people are trying to educate themselves, they're going to continuously go back to somebody that they vibe with.
Yeah.
You made the example of like, hey, I watch somebody like Andrew Tate and his vibe is pleasing to me, right?
Yeah.
So think about a business person. You got all these business people. You got the Gary V's, you got the Alex Hormozis, you got different people, and they have different temperaments that people like to watch. Maybe you like a Ty Lopez or somebody like that. Maybe you like us. But the whole thing is the vibe that they create is because it's entertainment first. We're going to get you the content. If you come to UBB, you're going to get the content, right? Yeah. You're going to get Here's how you do step one. This is how you set up a lead magnet. Here's how you do a funnel. Here's how you do follow-up calls. You're going to get that. And I guarantee you go on the internet anywhere and get that. But what's really going to lock an audience in is somebody who creates content with that in mind first. How can I entertain an audience? And from entertaining the audience, they will then turn around and start wanting to give you money because your vibe is good. We just talked about the creator economy in the Penthouse Play.
Yeah, that's why streaming, a lot of people overthink it. It's entertaining because how you do everything is kind of entertaining to somebody who hasn't been introduced to you. So how you walk, how you talk, how you answer the phone, what you do when you at work, like how do you be typing? How do you, everything, like, do you, like, everything, your whole perspective, like how you think about stuff is all entertaining. So the person who provides that level of entertainment for you, like, damn, this person just like me, this shit crazy, bro. Like, and then they teaching you how to get in shape. It's like, who you gonna buy from? What's a good example? 24-hour fitness or the influencer that's selling you a course. You probably gonna, the 24-hour fitness is not the best example.
Madhouse Fitness.
Man,
But no, it's a good point though.
Yeah, like you're gonna probably get it from the person that you can do both, you ask me. But hey, you probably gonna spend some money with the influencer first because he's providing a little bit more value than a little bit more entertainment value for you, which is not the only value you need to make a decision, but entertainment is a high value thing to give away to somebody. Like, hey, I got this over here for you. If you want to watch this, I got it for you. We got some education off up in there too as well. You know what I'm saying? Boom.
My good brother Cowboy. Have you ever heard of Robert Greene? You're probably familiar with some of his books. 48 Laws of Power. He wrote The Art of Seduction. He also wrote another book called, what is it called? I can't remember. It's Laws of Human Nature, something like that. Okay. And in this book, he talked about one thing humans will not actually sit here and accept is that we are all irrational, right? And we think that we make a lot of these decisions logically, but we don't understand how much emotion plays a part in our decisions. When it comes to discerning between 15 companies selling the exact same product, a lot of times the emotions are more involved. They did this study, a double-blind taste test with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And every time that it was blind taste test, Pepsi was winning, hands down. People said this one tastes better. Them same people, they put them in a room, Coca-Cola sitting there, and they drink out of both of them. And all the time, those people would say Coca-Cola was better, even though they just said the other one was better. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand how emotions influence all of us, then I think that's one of the reasons people struggle with creating content, because what you're thinking about is, I'm going to have the best content. But we've already passed the age of where
you've seen it all.
Yeah, I can go to ChatGPT and get a business plan today. It's not so much the business plan, it's how I'm going to present the business plan to you that makes you get a realization. Like you said, the whole A.B. Dean the Great thing. Yes, we've all seen that stuff. We resonate with the hood shit, the ranking, all that, right? So imagine coming into an environment, you're learning business, and instead of explaining it like, this is how you get leads, and I say, it's like this. Remember being in the hood? It's like, that's going to resonate with people. It's the same content. The originality doesn't come in the actual content. The originality comes into the entertainment value that you're putting around the content. Because I ultimately believe that's what's going to separate you from everybody else out there. And that's really the only thing that can separate you now. Mm-hmm. I remember a long time ago talking about telling your story and bringing your story to life. I think that's the biggest thing.
That's why I'm not going to keep talking about streaming, because you could tell your story in a documentary. You could tell your story in a song. You could tell your story in a book. You could tell your story in a magazine. There's a lot of different content distribution styles that you can tell your story in. But as of right now, with the tools that are available to everybody right now, YouTube wasn't even a thing that long ago. To be able to post all the videos on YouTube wasn't even a thing. Now it's like the internet is so developed, the cloud spaces are so developed, everybody in the world can post 6 videos a day. It's there now. And it's at a point now where the it's been born long enough to actually have like a little backbone algorithm going on with it now. So it's not just like it is random. Every now and then you get some random shit tossed on your feed. Like, how did I?
That's because they trying to
see like you
like
fuck with that? You fuck with that?
Nah. People like you was fucking with that.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say.
Okay? No, it's cool.
You gonna get that interested? Not interested? Yeah, you gonna pick one. But it's a lot of it's live streaming allows you easily to tell your story with the tools that are available right now. So you don't have to. You can like I'm a practice. I'm a do a certain amount of time streaming, and then I'm gonna take those and make them YouTube videos, and I'm gonna personally do that for my personal brand and my personal brand as a CEO, because I am the CEO of a company. I still might stream doing totally jewelry related things. So like I'm outside live in effect because I understand the entertainment value of the CEO of a company walking outside, shaking hands with jewelers, talking to them, just talking how I talk. Oh, that's how he be talking. Oh, that's what he be saying. Oh, that's how they be talking. Oh,
it adds a lot of tangibility too.
Man, I be seeing like they don't like I think that I don't think realistically nobody treats me any differently because I'm African American in that industry. It's not like oh shit. It's like
I don't think it's to a point where it's hindering you.
It's not that. It's not that in that industry. It's not that at all. It's I think streaming that though is what is the value in that, the entertainment in that.
No, it's 100%. Like
people would assume it would be. You would think that they would like, but no. If you know,
I go to the internet right now.
Yeah,
and I could say, let's say I find somebody doing that, right? They might be doing the exact same thing as you, but I never seen you do it.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing people don't understand. It's like there's a reason that you like your friends. You and your friends probably talk about some of the same stories, same thoughts over and over again, but the way they tell the story is like, you have friends, they tell a story, and if somebody else comes around, like, man, you gotta let him tell you this story.
Right.
Because no different than anything, you just like the way he tells the story. You could have just told the story.
Right. You gotta hear that boy, man. You gotta hear a piece there, bro.
It's just the way it is because it's entertainment value. So with that being said, I kind of want to shift gears here a little bit and ask you another question then.
You gotta hear that nigga DJ tell the story.
You know it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that people get so caught on content and diminish their own uniqueness in the content? Why does everybody focus on the content instead of understanding that they themselves are really what's gonna draw people in? You think that's like a self-esteem issue? Do you think that's just how they were raised? Because I have my theories about it, but I would like to hear yours.
I'm trying to unpack the question immensely.
So, like, for example,
why do people...
Back in the day, like I told you, people used to be like, you're an influencer, but for some reason they thought I could never be that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people put in content, I don't want to be the face of it because a lot of it is like, I don't think people listen to
it. It happens.
All these things, I think, dive into the fact of where somebody's mind will be completely closed off to the idea that content uniqueness is about the personality presenting the content versus the actual content itself.
I think both of them are two big hurdles, like mentally. So for somebody who doesn't see themselves as a person, who isn't personally developed enough to have the confidence in themselves to get in front of a camera, because of the time frame that I particularly grew up, it was cameras around, little flickers. You got to plan them bitches. Remember then, like the iPhone had a camera, so to be on a camera wasn't as foreign. So like, and motherfucker, you heard your voice. Everybody went through the phase. Everybody goes through the phase where you finally hear your voice. You hear it when you're talking, but hearing your voice on a device, like some shit you said yesterday, hearing you talk, that is something that you got to get used to. You got to get used to that. So that's a hurdle in itself. So that's personal development. Understanding that, like, you are the person that's going to make the content. Like the fact that Will Smith is not shy when he got to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was already doing music. He was already this charismatic person. We just brought that on set. That's a thing in itself. And then finally, like, say for instance, you don't even want to get into that. You never got into that, but you at least got into like, all right, I'll map out the content. That's a whole nother ball game in itself. Like sitting still and being like, all right, we're gonna do Mama's House of Penthouse. All right, do the Mama's House. Now we're gonna add this segment. All right, we're gonna add that segment. We're gonna do this segment. All right, now we got that show. We're gonna stack on another show. We're gonna stack on another show. That is talent on a whole nother ball game because of what it takes to orchestrate content. It's not just being the personality in front of it. There's a lot that goes into setting up it before. What equipment needs to be there, you know.
So basically saying like two elements to it, right?
It's two elements.
One is I'm kind of scared to get on camera, put myself out
Personal
there.
development.
And then the other element is I feel like the content planning might be above me.
The skill of actually putting together content. So like I say, the personal development and like, can I actually even be a pleasing personality on camera? Yes, you can. You can with enough practice. Like you keep filming yourself on cameras. A lot of fucking influencing coaches out there or coaching that can help you build confidence in being an intriguing person on camera. Every day a new live person pop up on camera.
Well, you know, with that, because I have my theories on that, but with that, what you just said, to kind of piggyback on that point, I think the reason people struggle with it is because people go watch you, for example, or anybody. I'm just making a point. People watch you and feel like, oh, I need to be like Cowboy to have a pleasing personality. But you made the point earlier. Really, what you doing, if you really put your personality out there, I don't care if you like a depressed person. I don't care if you're a very cynical person. I'm saying if you really put the real personality out there, there's going to be so many people who your personality is pleasing to them. I think when we think of pleasing personality, we hear something like that. We think of a certain criteria of people, like this super outgoing, charismatic person who, when he walks up to people, everybody likes him, versus you go on the internet right now, somebody not super outgoing, but when he gets in front of that camera and talks about whatever it is, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, anime, there's people in these spaces who have extremely large followings. And these people back in the day wouldn't have been considered particularly popular, or particularly pleasing personality type people.
Right.
But they have extreme followings, large followings, simply because they're on there talking about stuff that's interesting to them. And you have all these people from around the world with also interest. And I think that's really the key. What you were just talking about is that you are pleasing to some people.
Right.
It just, I think a lot of times you're trying to act like somebody else, which is where the disconnect
comes in. Yeah. You don't believe that your personality is pleasing enough. The real one that you have is pleasing enough to get on camera. And that's what we call the area that you need to work on when you're thinking like that and all that is personal development. Because when you personally develop yourself, you'll gain the confidence to believe that you are a person who can produce pleasing content or content. So you got to be like just getting to the very simple, like, hey, I can do it, boom. And then after you get to that point, you'll start producing bullshit content or any type of content, the best type of content that you, or whatever you can, but you'll start to build the confidence. And then slowly, you'll become your favorite person on camera. You know, you want to see more of you on camera. You want to set it up more. You'll want to, you know, get there. That's where we are right now. I know I am. I'm setting up the content systems because the more and more we're on in front of everybody and popping up, the better it is for them. You know what I'm saying? In the entertainment.
You just said it. And I think that's one of the big things is, I heard this term and I was reading a book. It's called The Fountainhead. I think it was The Fountainhead, or it might have been Atlas Shrugged. You may not like those books because they, whatever. I read everything. But anyway, this is a long time ago. But it had a line in there that said, the person believed in their right to exist. And I think a lot of times that when you're getting into the content space, a lot of people just don't believe in their right to exist, their right to have an opinion, their right to put themselves out there. it's almost like if you put yourself out there with your real personality, people feel like, nah, people wouldn't like that. It's not worth putting out there. Because of course, some people are going to say some things, but I think that if once you get to a big level, you understand that we talked about that. I don't know if we talked about that on here, but we talked about there's different levels of criticism and stuff that'll happen. But the whole point is that when you get to a big level, people are going to say outrageous shit no matter what. Some of those people don't actually even believe that. They just want to say something crazy or crack a joke or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think that most people don't believe in their right to exist. And I believe it goes down to what you've been told is valuable. I grew up in a community where a lot of things that I'm talking about wasn't really valued that much. So for me to overcome that and get on a platform to talk about business, talk about the stuff, I always joke about people when I was talking about learning languages, learning Japanese and stuff like that. These are things that people around me wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, that's cool. I want to hear about that. But that was the old days. Nowadays, it's so easy to find people who connect with this type of content, connect with this type of stuff. But it starts with you believing in your right to exist. Mm-hmm. I think that ultimately, the way we grew up is going to stop us from producing content, because if you're going to produce some content, let's say you're into Magic the Gathering. I'm using what most people would say the most nerdiest thing. Some people may not even know what Magic the Gathering is watching our show. Mm-hmm. However, if you're into that, your friends might be like, man, what's man, you making that content about that card game shit. You got to get over that, right? But that means that you value their opinion over your own right to exist how you are. And I think that's the hardest thing when it comes to content. A person who's fully accepted their right to exist online, they put the content out, and what they're looking for is understanding that if you really like somebody, they really can't overdo it. If you like hanging out with somebody, you will watch them for 7-8 hours straight because you just like hanging out with them. If you like somebody's opinion, every time a video pops up every day on the feed, you're going to click on that video. You're going to watch the entire video. But if you're just somebody, and I've been guilty of this in the past, I admit this. If you're just somebody who's very focused on the content, then I think you're just missing the point. Right. People are not pulling up for just the content. They're pulling up for you. They're pulling up for the jokes you tell. They're pulling up for the insight you have, the unique perspective because you came from a different place. I think that ultimately is what I see as far as from my perspective, that people have trouble putting that content out there. I guess the other thing I would say then is, what are some things you think somebody could do to overcome these barriers that you're talking about?
The influencer drills, the 17 principles. Remember the 17, the 11?
No, it's 17.
17
immutable laws.
Immutable laws of influence. So those exercises like engaging with people in New York is harder. Like certain parts of the area is harder because people are going to be like, what the fuck? But I really got Southern hospitality. So it's funny you wave at people in New York or whatever and they just angry. Quick story, the lady, and I'm going to stick with the 17 immutable laws of influence. We got on the subway go down and they got handicapped elevators. You know, if you're not from there, you don't know, so you're going to catch the elevator. And then one of the ladies got on there. She was like really mad that, they have stairs on the other side. And I didn't know. And I'm sure that the people in the elevator didn't know neither. And she was like, none of us responded. Like, y'all don't know about the stairs on the other side, right? And I was like, damn, this is some New York shit. Because like to take it to the next level is some New York shit. Because and down south, everybody is just kind of like a little bit more smoother. Even I can see an older elderly person just like, man, this big Texas, fuck the people on the elevator.
Yeah.
But I had to enlighten her, like, maybe we're all from out of town and we just didn't understand, and she's like, oh, so you didn't know? I'm like, oh, you taking it to the level 3.
No, that's what she was looking for.
Yeah, they were looking for it. But I'm trying to say it's harder to what was the first immutable law that I just mentioned? Fuck.
You said the drills about interacting with people.
Interacting with people. It's harder to do that type of stuff in New York, but these are exercises that you can do to get better with content. A lot of times, like I got to switch because of how many in-person shows I've done. Like I can be at home, it can be 11:59. I'm mellow out, probably listening to some Like after you do it for a long time, you'll get really good at cutting on the content switch. Like I'm about to go out in front of people. There's cameras. There's everything. Like because of the age that we grew up in, I think everything is being recorded. I treat every phone call like a recording. I treat it almost like a performance. I think that I'll end up on I think my call is going to end up somewhere.
Well, you said entertainment first, though, right?
Yeah, it's the mindset.
I think that's such a good point you're making, and that's the point that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Even when you talk to me, we'll be running. And even when you're talking to me, it's just me and you out there running. Nothing's being recorded. It feels like in your mind you're trying to entertain me.
I think I'm being recorded.
You get what I'm saying?
I think I am. I truly think I am. This is why a person like a person with the attributes that I have should be filmed every day, all day, because you think that you're fundamentally acting like an influencer.
Your goal is to deliver the content, of course. You're not out here blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
that's why sometimes I make the disclaimer that I feel as though I'm being too theatrical because no cameras are here.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But the theatrics are always appreciated because you could deliver the same content.
Yeah.
The same content. That's what I'm saying. The same content to somebody. This is what I'm saying. I want y'all to really catch what I'm trying to get here. Not even being recorded, but the point is to put emotion into the content, even amongst your friends, because it's going to get transferred better.
Yep.
I could say, hey, man, you know, we probably need to get here at this time, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, you solid, you know what it is. You a mature person. We're going to do it where Rice said. I'm just trying to tell you, if every time I got to deal with this much, the emotion of it is going to make you be like, man, I just remember he was very emotional about doing this thing. Yeah. I ain't even talking about being angry at people or yelling. It could be you made jokes. It could be you were smiling a lot. It could be that you were theatrical, like you, whatever it was.
All of us have that energy about us, and there's a friend group or a friend or a person that can get that out of you. Mm-hmm. The thing is to remember that person and bring that person with you outside. It takes work though. These are the 17 immutable laws of influence that I don't have in front of me or nothing like that. But
but one of them we had, I remember because I was on there doing it. Yeah. We were walking around down U of H and I was just speaking to people. Like, hey, what's up, man? Like, hey, how you like your glasses and stuff like that. Yeah. I learned that from doing code approach and stuff like that.
We can go outside. There's people right now. There's a guy in Paris that walks around and just takes cigarettes from people, puts it out, and he just says, I'm American. He just walking around and he has the balls to just record himself walking around. It's like it's I don't know how to.
He probably doing it over there because they don't got them pistols like that.
They doing.
Don't do that in Texas.
Yeah, nah, hell no.
Don't do that down here.
Don't fuck around like that.
But nah, for sure. But to your point though, I think that's the whole thing is the delivery of the content is great. I've had to learn this lesson over and over because people will talk to me and they'll be like, man, you know, when I'm talking to you in person, it's a little bit different than when you're talking on there. And I think it's because a lot of times I come from a background where I've read a lot. I've been I wasn't the worst at school, like a lot of entrepreneurs say, right? But it takes a lot to transition into being like, the content is secondary. I know it sounds crazy. Because you're like, nah, I'm somebody who wants the content delivered. But even the people you like who are, this is a no nonsense video or I'm delivering the content, they're being entertaining. Because if it was a no nonsense video, why don't you just have a robot read it to you?
Right.
Like, hey, what's up, guys? This is step one, step two, step two. Like, you don't want that. Yeah. You want somebody to say, this is the fucking reason that people don't. Like, you want that. Yeah. You can sit here and act like you don't, but that's the reason you go to a Gary Vee. That's why you go to Hormozy. That's where you go to these different people.
Stop on some new content if it's like,
because it's shocking, it's entertaining. Like the title may bring you in, but the presenter, the energy, the vibe they're putting out, that's what ultimately is going to do it. So I feel like in the game of content and originality, we have to focus more on vibe than we focus on the content because the content is easy to present. If I tell you, here's 5 businesses you can start home right now. Everybody can do that video.
Yeah.
However, the way I do that video, the personal stories I tell, the entertainment, I might tell a funny story like you did about being in New York and being on the thing. That's a story that
I'm gonna do a story time today. I did a video, but I think the video got cut out or something. About why I don't personally train no more. I can like I told the guy, I don't have to this Saturday we don't have necessary like a whole itinerary of destinations like we normally do on Saturdays with 2 events, this event, something else going on. But you don't gotta feel like that is necessary because if he just pull up in here, me and you communicating after you on your way out, and then I tell a story about why I don't train no more. I call Robbie, project manager, Misty. We work on a few proposals for 45 minutes. I go walk outside, call, make a list of calls to all clients while I'm speaking to people, waving at them, doing shit. That's entertaining.
I think the thing is, and this is just coming from this perspective, because I feel like you started off Instagram more on the influencer side, right?
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is the more you try to make the content super interesting, the less interesting the content becomes because people can detect that you're trying to make it interesting. Versus back in the day when we first met, I'd never forget the first day we actually were hanging out, right? And we pulled up to the little dorms. Like, it wasn't UAB, but I just always like to say it whenever we talk about TSU. UAB day.
Mm-hmm.
We pulled up to what was that? The View.
Yeah.
Pulled up to the View. We was all out there. It was some girls there with some partners and shit there. Jebediah Freeman was there. Will was there. And you was like, man, we about to hit the rail, right? Yeah. So you had the camera out. We walked to the rail. We got on the rail. I still got some of that footage too, right?
Yeah, what was we filming for? Back then?
You were just like, man, you told me then, you was like, man, I'm just going to film it. I don't know what we going to do with it. Yeah. I still got some of that footage.
Because back then, you got to understand, it was an algorithm, but nothing was algorithmic. It wasn't like YouTube. People was getting paid from YouTube back then. Because I remember Jebediah Freeman, mom always used to send me Diddy's sons Instagram because they come from that world, the Hollywood. Like they coming from LA to Houston. They left LA a long time ago, but they was coming to LA to Houston, and she was always showing me like Diddy's sons on YouTube. But this was back in like 2014, 2015, 2016. Yeah, this is like in that time frame. So I used to not believe that social media was paying people. That's what I thought down south. I thought that everybody was getting paid from it, how we was getting paid from it. You build an audience and you guerrilla market and you guerrilla get everybody to come from Instagram to a motherfucking address.
To a party.
And you charge their motherfucking ass $20 to $400 for some shit. That's how I thought you got money from Instagram. I didn't know that
you can get money from Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, back then Instagram wasn't. I don't even think Instagram had a payment.
No, they didn't. Not then. No, not then.
YouTube did. I think YouTube started.
I can't remember when YouTube actually started doing it. It might have been around that time.
2011. I bet you around that time. I bet you 2011 and 2013. Like I'm on. I've been on YouTube. I've been on these platforms. I've been uploading. But
I know it's for sure around that time because actually Matthew knows. This back when we had the house of Darion. You had to be like, I want to say 100,000 plus subscribers to even get invited to this thing. Yeah. He was like, they doing it at my venue, so I'm going to let y'all go in there so y'all can kind of see what YouTube themselves is talking about. I remember this black dude named John from YouTube. I wonder if he still worked there. But he basically was running us down on everything about the payment. Now, I don't know when it started, but I know they was paying in 2015 because what he told me was it was a lady, she unboxed presents for kids. And he was like, you go to watch the videos, like, how much is this person making? They was like, oh, she makes 10 million. He said, nah, we cut her a check for 22 million. We ain't never seen her face. Yeah. She just opened presents for kids because they like the hit they get from seeing the presents open. So I know they was paying in around like 2015.
Yeah, they was paying, and they had to be like fairly a little bit new or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that's how I thought you got paid from social media. But
to your point, that day, we left the View. We hopped on the rail. We went to a little taco spot downtown. What was that taco? Do you remember the name of that taco spot?
Lone Star.
Yeah. So we went over there. We just chopped it up there. We went back to the house. Everybody was hanging out. I think that later, either next week or the week after that, we end up shooting Grass Season, the movie and stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff was just us vibing. I guarantee if you would have live streamed, that would have just been an interesting conversation.
Exactly.
We was cracking jokes and stuff like that. It was
Go
interesting.
downtown, catch the rail to the U of A's, walk on the stadium. If it's like,
I think if you if you try to go live life, it'll be more interesting, right? So if you try to be like, okay, yeah, today I'm about to go out and I'm be at the house working on the business, right? That's one day. But the next day, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go out and go talk to some people and see if people are interested in this product. You don't have to do anything, just do it. You don't have to like, I'm gonna try to make more jokes today. I'm gonna try to just like go do it. It's like watching it itself would be interesting because people don't see that angle or see you going through it. Same thing you talking about building an app. I know seeing somebody like you build an app would be interesting because we just don't see people like you building apps.
Exactly.
What is the process?
What is he doing? Is he actually
is he coding the app?
Or
is
what?
he hiring people?
Yeah, does he
work with a team?
Right.
Oh, he's working with a team. How did he get his team?
Yeah.
What does he say to his team? Like,
right.
All these things are things that make the content interesting. And I think that ultimately this is the real key to being original moving forward because every market is going to be saturated quickly. They have this whole thing going online right now about people making fake GTA 6 AI clips. And they making silly money from it because it's just views. The clips are obviously fake to people who understand the AI world, but they making so much money on it that people are, oh, this is fake stuff. And people comment and stuff. It's like, you're just giving them more money because you're still watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the point being, like, if you get popular and you do some type of content, people are going to just mimic the way you do content. But it won't be the way they're delivering the content. It will be you specifically in the video because they like the way you present, the way you make jokes. They've come to the video for you. And I think that's the ultimate difference when you get to a world that's saturated with the same type of content. The only true uniqueness we have is you getting on there talking about the way you talk about it.
And it's not easy. So the people who do it consistently will be rewarded and everything like
100% true.
And there's a lot of people not, I think it's so talented. Y'all gonna laugh and everything, but like, and bringing them back up, shit, I think it's cold. A.B. and Dean, like to be able to just chill his big stomach out, like on the couch, just, that you're not finna do that, bro.
No, it takes a lot.
You're not finna do that, bro. You're not finna, it's a lot of stuff you're just not finna do because you're gonna overthink
Well,
it.
that's what I think from a spiritual level, it really is about the celebrities and just the entire world of influence. What you're almost responding to, or what I feel like you're really responding to, is the courage for someone to be themselves, because in a way, you want to be that person who can be themselves, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're admiring the fact that someone can sit here and just be on here and talk the way they actually talk and say the shit they actually say.
Yeah.
It's something about that that's powerful because there's levels to it. You may get to a certain level where you talk a certain way. I remember a good friend of ours, Kiki, she was talking about this one time. She said, man, I'm listening to y'all on the podcast because she was trying to be a lawyer at the time. She's like, but I just be wanting to talk to, I just want to say that how y'all just be saying what the fuck y'all want to say.
Understand, bro. It's real life communities of people that cannot say what they want to say. It's droves of them too as well because of the company that they work for or the non-disclosure agreements that they, so a lot of times I catch the radio and they'll be talking about a hot topic and like somebody got fired for saying some shit on social media and stuff like that. But everybody that was calling in was people that was working and they was all like, man, she knew she was trying to get fired. You're not supposed to say that, but there's real communities where you cannot say what you want.
And that's what I think that the whole thing, the layers of it comes down to, right? A lot of times with celebrities like that, we can comment on it, we can try to criticize them and stuff like that. But what we have to accept is that they're living with a level of freedom that a lot of people don't get to live with as far as expressing themselves. Now, there may be other aspects of their life where they're not that free because they may not be able to walk outside and just chill like you can walk outside and chill. Mm-hmm. Everything in life has trade-offs, but it's like people getting into the business world, I don't think those are things you're too concerned with if you're at least willing to put yourself in the content. So when we talk about repetitiveness, I think it's just changing the perspective of what you're trying to accomplish with the content. Because if you can transcend that feeling of I can't really be myself on camera and you can really start putting yourself out there, I think that's ultimately when you can start truly being unique. I think you can take the exact same content you've done hundreds of times and start presenting it in a unique way. And then ultimately what will happen is people will start to see the content different. They'll feel the content is different. One thing about the AB and Dean the Great content, it's nothing in my mind that doesn't make me think that's how they really act. They ain't doing nothing on there. They going down to the fact of talking about how, yeah, you know, she need to be in this bitch sucking dick. Like they on that. A lot of people wouldn't even want to utter that shit because they don't even want people to know they talk like that. They mama might see it. They granny might see it. I've heard people say that, like, man, I don't be wanting to do this in my content, but my grandma might see it.
Whole purpose. Like when I'm about to open the door for Trey in a second.
And we can pretty much, I mean, we've been going for a minute.
Yeah, we can
wrap it up in a second.
But we got to rush it, wrap it up.
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing with I think just being yourself on the stream. You know what I'm saying? It's like
it take a lot of courage. Your family gonna see it. It's gonna get clipped. People are gonna make fun of you. People gonna talk shit. People gonna clip it on other shows and use it to try to talk about you. People gonna use a whole hit piece to try to talk about why you the downfall of society. People gonna have judgments. All these things are gonna happen. But I think that at the end of the day, that is the spiritual side of it. I'm not trying to get in like, you know, deep religious thing or anything like that. I'm saying, when I say spirituality, I'm saying that there is something to a person who can transcend the criticism and present a version of themselves that is true to the world. It's extremely difficult to do. I'm not saying it's easy, like you'll wake up tomorrow and you can do it, but I do believe that's what ultimately makes the uniqueness of content. All of us have gone down the easy route, which is producing this content, but the better route, in my opinion, is working to become somebody who has the ability to present themselves as a unique character in the world. And if you can do that, I promise that changes everything. That changes the way that you produce content. That changes the way that you think about your content. And that changes the way that you will ultimately put out the content that you're doing right now. So DJ's gonna be back in a second, but the best thing I could say, Chris, is when you talk about your content, seeing entrepreneurs posting every day, yeah, it may sound the same, but the reason it sounds the same is because everybody's approaching it from the same mindset. There's like this big master way of thinking about how we produce content, especially in the business world. And the way we think about producing content in the business world is that we have to be very dense with our content. We have to be very specific with our content. We have to get all our points out. And if we don't get all our points out, if we don't make the perfect points in the video, then it's not a good video. When there's a whole slew of people who are putting out content that doesn't have the perfect point, they didn't make the perfect presentation, but people are consuming it, watching it, and going crazy with it because they understand that it ain't what's in the content. Yeah. It's the vibe of the content that ultimately makes it original. It ain't the fact that I can give you a list of 10 businesses you can start. Yeah. It's the way I'm going to go through those 10 businesses.
Y'all seen Poetic Flacco on YouTube? Poetic Flacco? Trey, you heard of Poetic Flacco on YouTube? Okay, it's a guy that's, he does like.
What's good, Trey?
Yes, sir. He does like, what is messy content? Like, the downfall of that type of content. But he has a strong stutter, and I would imagine that a lot of people, and I can see if he was afraid, I can see that he could potentially be afraid to go live, but he doesn't. He'll go live, and some people might say, man, that's crazy or whatever or anything, but it's just the fact that he doesn't give a fuck, and his sense of humor, you're going to look past all of that extra shit.
I think also,
to be pitch perfect.
I think that's where a lot of criticism comes from too, right? People have two reactions to, I feel like people who are celebrities or famous. One of the reactions is to try to tear them down because I think there's a little bit of envy in it. Mm-hmm. They got the audacity to get on this camera and talk, even though they got a stutter. So they're going to start talking about the stutter and talking about everything that they can see visibly on them. It's almost like they want that person to stop. They want you to quit so they can say, see, I told you, bro, you can't make it unless you're a certain way. Most people are just trying to assert their own frame and their own belief system about life. Then I think there's the people who admire you because although they may not have built the courage up yet to do what you're doing, they have an appreciation for what you do. And I guess that I say there's a third person that may not specifically want to do what you do, but they appreciate what you do because they understand it at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like somebody playing a sport or being very good at a sport. You may not want to be the best soccer player, but when the World Cup was here, I can appreciate people giving it they all
right.
in order to play a sport. So I think that these are the levels to think about when it comes to putting it out. And I guess I was saying some stuff while you was out, but I guess we can go into the final thoughts because my overall thesis with all of it is that stop looking for uniqueness of content in what it is. Mm-hmm. These words that are being said. Look at the uniqueness as far as the vibe that you can bring, a different way you can present, using personal stories, personal vibe, personal personality that you can put into these videos. That will make it unique, even if you have the exact same video released on the exact same day as another person, because people will look at the two videos and say, these people are both covering the same topic. However, I want to hear this person's opinion, this person's view, and hear how they went about presenting it. And I think ultimately that's the power. And the whole goal of all this is to understand that, as corny as it may sound, is that it's you. Yeah. You are enough to make people want to pay attention. You are the final piece. You can, when you're creating content, a lot of your process is going to go look at content that's already created. That's what the fuck you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking at stuff that's already, you're going to get inspired from content that's already created. That's what you're going to do. So you're going to have to come to the agreement that what we're saying is the fundamental principle of it. You're going to be the differentiator. There's nobody like you anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's why people pay top dollar for Will Smith to be in the movie, vice versa, Joe Blow from around the corner and shit. Yeah, because they may be talented, but still, it comes down to that specific person's who they want to see. Yeah. You want to give them your socials? We can get out of here. Yes, sir. The Country Cowboy with 2 Y's on all platforms, and then Cowboy VVS, the jewelry company. I skipped Country Cowboy with 2 Y's.com for my personal brand. And on there, I have started to work with the PR team. We're working on getting some more sit downs on the podcast. We're gonna be doing a lot of different stuff with the personal brand. And then the main company brand right now, we got Cowboy Marketing Group. The ranch has been demolished. The ranch has been demolished. Yeah, end of an era. No more agriculture right now. So I wasn't the outright owner of the ranch. That was a family thing. So it's like, my ranch is coming soon. We'll probably sell that one day. Who knows? I don't know. It's not the plan. We're trying to get a compound. Not necessarily the plan, but you do get tax write-offs for having those cows and the agriculture and raising chickens and all of that shit. I didn't know chickens was born that fast. Yeah, chickens, they hatching them. Yeah. Uncle Carl give everybody in the neighborhood eggs. Not everybody, because you can't just come knock on the door. But everybody you know you good for some eggs. Like, you don't have to go to you just go to Uncle Carl's house, he got the eggs. But Country Cowboy on Country Cowboy for my personal brand, that's 2 Y's, and then Cowboy with 2 Y's VVS.com for the fine jewelry, and Cowboy Express for the mobile app. I'm gonna do it when we're streaming today. We're gonna do about 2 hours. If we need to extend it for 3, we're gonna do that. But I'm gonna get some BTS of the app on the screen, talking to different people about their orders and all of that type of stuff. I'm gonna catch all of that. Well, I was about to say something, so we can talk about that off the camera though. Yeah. Well, the camera gonna be the other camera gonna be rolling. Well, no, I was just saying, did you get what's name them in there? I didn't want to go into a full business meeting in the middle of it. I know. We'll go on there on the stream. We can do that. But yeah, Prinston Hicks on everything. PRINSTONHICKS. It's not spelled like the school, but it's pronounced that way because I know people will be like Preston. I don't know why. Yeah, it's the craziest thing ever. I'll say it to them, they'll say it right back to me wrong, and then I get on the call and I gotta tell people, no, it's actually Prinston. So PRINSTONHICKS on everything. You can find me on everything with that. And make sure you get in 24 Hour Empire. Get the 10 Commandments to get new customers. It's great. great free book that we put. It's a real book too. It ain't just some AI shit we put together. It's 168 pages. It's really breaking down all the ways that your business can get customers. You can go to my page, or you can go to the business page and just comment customers, and then we're going to send the book right out to you. And also get on the 24-hour Empire. We do that every Tuesday, which is where we walk through the modern systems to help automate your business and help it run 24 hours a day. So you're never worried about if you go on vacation or something, that phone doesn't get answered. So that being said, that's pretty much everything. Remember, believe in you. I know it may sound cliche and corny at this point, but I promise you that's going to be the most unique content you can ever create. Anything else, D?
Let's get it.
Wow.
I came up from nothing. Started from the bottom.
I see it with a clear eye.
So I hustle.
Mama's house to penthouse. Yeah.